Welcome once again to the Money Pit. We've been here for 3 months now, so I think it's time to give you a little update, tell you what we've done to the house and what we're going to do, hopefully. And here's Flaviana.
Hi.
You're going to hate that bell. That's what we should do, we should remove that bell. Happy New Year to you.
What is this thing that you're using?
Oh, it's a DJI Pocket 3.
What is it?
It's a camera and it's a gimbal thing, but the quality's really good.
Right.
And I can click that and it'll spin round. And
Is it a Christmas present that you gave yourself? Huh?
so let's start with the good old conservatory. First of all, we have a broken pane of glass. That was after the last video. It's no big surprise, look at that. The only pins I can find are my daughter's here. So she's going to be happy with that. There we go, beautiful job. Very professional. I've seen tradespeople do worse than this, to be honest. But yeah, we need to get something sorted out pretty urgently. A demolition crew, ideally. We had to get that replaced. That cost quite a lot of money. I can't remember what it was. So
177.
177 just for a triangular piece of glass.
And we even got the dimensions wrong.
Yeah. So some of the people watching this, after seeing the previous update, will be thinking, why do you even still have a conservatory? Because we told you to knock it all down. Because that was the overriding advice really from people was knock it down or turn it into an orangery and don't live in it. But we've ignored that advice completely. It was rotten around the bottom of the conservatory. We've had that replaced by a carpenter.
I'm happy with that. It's pretty solid.
And the rotten caps on top that were holding the glass in place, we've had all that replaced as well. And
Can I just say that the carpenter actually removed all the panes of glass where it was rotten and replaced the whole.
the ledge, yeah, whatever.
So yeah, removed it completely and then put the window panes back on
Yeah.
one side.
So we had quite a lot of work done with that. The alternative to doing that was just letting it all fall down, and like that piece of glass fell down. Had we replaced the roof sooner, then that wouldn't have happened, of course. It makes it a usable room. An extremely expensive to heat usable room, but it is usable. And we did use it over Christmas, and it was actually quite nice. However, it costs a fortune to heat.
Few pictures of Christmas.
Few pictures of Christmas. I didn't take very many actually. But yeah, it was lovely, and you know the lights up. It all looks.
It was nice to have another area, you know. Otherwise, we have just the kitchen, the lounge, and to stay here to eat in the kitchen while someone is cooking. It's just it's nice to be able to.
Yeah,
there was people playing on the table, you know, board games.
It was, we were obsessed with Catan over Christmas, so we were playing that out there a lot. And it's a lovely space, but thankfully it was relatively mild over Christmas, because right now it's -2 or whatever it is outside, and it's freezing in the conservatory. And, you know, even if the heating is on, it never really heats up very much, so it's just...
We had the radiator installed.
We obviously keep the doors closed, so it's not like any cold air is getting in the house. Well, not much anyway. Obviously these doors aren't brilliant, but that's as good as we can do really. We do need to get a draft excluder on the other side though.
So it just wastes money really with that radiator on.
Electric radiator.
Yeah. And that brings us nicely on to the running cost of the house. So I changed, I think in the last video, I can't remember. In the last video we were on Flexible Octopus, that was our tariff. I changed to Octopus Go, that certainly saved some money. But we're still spending a fortune. Do you want to know how much we're spending?
If you have to.
Yesterday, we spent £30.52 on electricity.
How is that possible?
A horrific amount of money. The day before that was £26.55. The day before that, 1996. I mean, obviously, it goes much worse when you've got the car. charging, of course, and it goes much worse when it's cold outside.
You know, it's not going to last that long. We're looking at these figures just for maybe a couple of months when it's -1.
Okay.
But, you know, then in the summer we're not going to spend anything.
Yeah, but November, for instance, cost us £495. October.
Is that more than normal?
That's a crazy amount of money. Yeah, I mean, we spent probably, well, half it would have been in the old house.
Really? Mm-hmm. What are we going to do about it?
December so far, £593 we've spent.
And then you're saying this as if you're happy and proud of it.
I'm not proud. No, I'm not proud of it. I'm just illustrating. My
No,
God.
as if you're bragging. Look.
Yeah, look how much we're spending. Yeah, so at the moment, our live use, for instance, this is just at lunchtime, 5,701 watts.
So maybe we should just dress up a bit warmer. Vedi, tu stai così.
I'm
dress up a bit warmer and
I'm like this. I'm like this for the video.
Down.
I'm like this for the video. I'm wearing my Vestalia. What's it called? Dressing gown. I'm wearing a dressing gown all day at the moment. They're set to 20.5 in here in the living area. They're set to about 18 elsewhere in the house.
The radiators.
The radiators. So it's not like they're too hot, really. We tend to spend most time in here. Anyway, so that's a crazy amount of money. What can we do? We can insulate, and that's one of the things we're doing. So there's the Great British Insulation Scheme, which I think gives you free insulation in the attic and also cavity wall insulation. So we've applied for that. You've got to wait. You've got to be in a house for at least 3 months. We're 3 months yesterday. So I've applied for that, and then I've just got to wait. And Octopus put you in touch with another installer, and they come out, do a survey, and they tell you what you can do.
And it's totally free?
Pretty sure it is, but I'm not definite actually. But
what do you mean? I think it is.
Anyway, so that's going to help. But just on the costs thing. So I've got a friend called Tim. He's got a YouTube channel as well, and his energy bill for 2024 in his video released today was £276. So we pay in 10 days for electricity what he spends in a year, because he's got solar panels.
But the question is, how much did he spend in solar panels and battery?
I'll put on screen how much he spent on solar panels and battery.
Because that's the question. Because you get the solar panels, you get the battery, you get this, you get the heat pump, blah 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 blah. But all of that is money. Had you spent 30,000, then how long does it take for you to repay this investment? For us, at this rate, it would take 2 years. But no, it's not. I'm just joking. We would have to
Probably
do a calculation. Because if you're saying 300 a month, so what is it? 3,600 a year.
Yeah.
3,600. So it would take us 10 years to get back the 30,000 investment.
If we got a heat pump. Yeah, that's if we get a heat pump, battery and solar. That would all be about 30,000.
But you know what I'm saying. You know, it all depends. Yes, of course he has just £200 this year of bills, but he also has the bills of the investment that he made.
Which is an asset that has gone into the house. And also they might be planning to stay in their house for a while, unlike us.
Exactly. That's the whole thing as well, because we move every 3 years. Well, if you are in your forever home, then it makes sense. Do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
But if you're not convinced, and I'm never convinced on any houses I get, then it doesn't make any sense for us to put that amount of money in a house.
So Tim and Kat, the channel is called Tim and Kat's Green Walk, if you want to see it. And I highly recommend it. It's brilliant.
Is it also a husband and wife?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Why are you recommending the competition?
They're not the competition. They're nice.
What do you mean they're not the competition? Competition.
Anyway, they've got an air-to-air heat pump, which we used to have in the old house. So that's...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
The air conditioning.
Yeah. They even referenced it in one of their videos, because they watched our video. And that.
So that's the only heating they have?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But that's really cheap to run.
It was never that cheap for us.
It was.
No, what we paid £200 to
Oh
heat the
God,
house.
because they've got solar and batteries, so that's why that's so cheap.
Oh, right.
But you know, for their heating is cheap anyway. Air source heat pumps are really cheap to run, and air conditioning is really good, and it's also a cheap option. If we got an air
I
source,
wouldn't recommend it.
watch our video on air conditioning if you haven't already.
We have to make a second video, but hoping that the new buyers of the house don't see it, because I don't recommend it at all. How nice is it to get heating come from air in your face? You know, it's just not nice. I was reflecting on it earlier, and I told Gianni, how nice is it to just have a radiator to stand next to and be warmed. Imagine if I had the fan like last house. You just get strong air, because to warm up the house, it needs a strong jet of air. Strong air in your face, moving your hair and not heating you properly. So I would never recommending, yes, for cooling, definitely brilliant. Not for heating, I'm sorry. Never.
Well, and yet Tim and Kat love it, you see. And I think part of the problem was our positioning. We we didn't position it well enough or
But
something.
you put them up there, you put them up so the air comes down. You can't put them at the bottom. But even so, maybe they are pretending that they like it.
No, they're not pretending.
Yes, they're pretending, like we pretended that we liked it.
No, I liked it.
I was diplomatic, because I thought I would never sell that house if my prospective buyers would see that I hated it. Then they wouldn't buy the house.
Well, that's just disingenuous to say that, isn't it?
Ma scusa, we were selling the house at the point. We decided to sell the house, as so.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't want, because people look up the people they're buying from, and then they saw the video, oh, look, our house is shit. Then they wouldn't buy the house. I didn't want to say that they were bad,
anyway.
But I wasn't so complimentary about them, you can see.
Anyway, there is this feeling of air blowing on you, which, well, like in a car, it's like being in a car and you put the heating on and it blows at you. But obviously, the higher up it is, the less you feel it. But still, it doesn't feel as cozy as radiators. And there's another really good video to watch from Heat Geek, and Heat Geek are really good. And they do a fantastic video about why they don't like air to air. And it's for those reasons. It's just not it doesn't feel as cozy as a radiated heat.
Yes. Also, can we just say, as soon as you turn them off, you descend into Arctic ice age. While if you turn even these electric radiators off that are oil filled, you still get residual heat that goes on for an hour at least. And in all normal radiators, if they're off, you still get, heat. And that's good. So if the power goes off here, I know that they have the battery, Kat and Sophie.
Tim and Kat.
Sophie, I don't know. I know that they have the battery, so it would still work for them. But what do they do when the fan is going through the reheat cycle, through the defrosting cycle? They freeze to death, because that's what happened to us when it was freezing, and it goes often into the defrost at least twice a day in the defrosting cycle. You are those 5 to 10 minutes or more that you really are freezing, because the heat completely stops.
Our big problem in the old house was that we had massive bifolds in the main living area. And it was a massive space being heated by one...
Massive space. It was 80 square meters of a house.
Okay, fine.
80 square meters. We're talking 800 square feet.
It was still a big space to be heated by one air conditioning unit on the wall. And those bifolds...
Oh, no, I mean the whole house was...
okay. No, I'm just talking about the living area, the lounge. We had these big bifolds, and they're not very thermally efficient. It wasn't triple glazed, and we should have got triple glazed. Everyone told us at the time, or the builders told us at the time, oh, that's fine, it's the same. I don't think it is. Anyway, and it was just rubbish. It was either too hot or too cold in that, and because of these big bifolds. So there we go. It's a pro tip for you. Just don't get bifolds. Massive bifolds are just not thermally efficient. Anyway, so
they're good to look at, but
yeah. So
they're also not very good for positioning furniture in front of them. So walls are always a bit better, really.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that's enough on that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Yeah. You're less
I
convinced
can't,
about
I
air
can't
conditioning
believe
than I am.
because you wanted that even for this house, and I can't believe that for how much complaining you've done and I've done, and
It's much cheaper though. So we were quoted 16,867 to have an air source heat pump here because we don't have any pipes for.
you mean air
that's
to
a water.
water?
Air to water.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be much cheaper for air to air.
For air to air, let's just say how much did it cost us?
Cost us 8,000 in the last
8,000 for how many units? Four. 4 units, one of which was a bigger one, and obviously the outdoor unit.
There is a government grant of 7,500.
Not for air to air. It's only air to water.
Yeah, have they not changed that? I
No,
thought
they
were going
will never change it.
I think they might.
It's air conditioning.
So anyway,
they don't want.
it would cost us 9,367 based on one quote I've had to.
Didn't you say 16,000?
Yeah, and then take off 7,500 for the grant.
Ah, right.
For the government grant. So yeah, 9,367 if we wanted a air to water heat pump. We could do a water source heat pump, but that's even more expensive. But it would be cool. We've got a big pond. We could do that. It's far more efficient. But it's just crazy
to
money.
include plumbing everywhere?
Yeah, 9,367 to plumb the whole place.
That's very good, actually. 9,000. You were talking about spending 9,000 for the solar panels. Allora instead we do that.
No, I think it's important to have the solar panels as well, though. I think the solar panels is a quicker win. Anyway, to be continued. It would obviously, if we were staying here a long time, based on the amount we're spending on electricity, then you could say that's kind of a no-brainer if you're staying in a house for a long time. If we're just here for 3 years.
No-brainer if they give you free finance.
And we could have got interest-free finance from the bank to add on to our mortgage, but we've already maxed out the amount we can afford on the mortgage, so we couldn't do that. Otherwise, that would have been good. Right, talking of heat, let's talk about the log burner. We did a thing about the log burner with the PM 2.5, all that sort of stuff. And I got criticised for the way that we were building our fire. We should have been using kiln-dried logs, locally sourced, all the rest of it. Someone was saying do the top-down method, so you burn it. You put all the firelighters at the top, and then the kindling, and then the logs down there, instead of what you normally do the other way around. Anyway, we did this on Christmas Eve, and the whole house was full of smoke. You had smoke coming out of the log burner. Every time I closed the front of the log burner, the fire went out. It was rubbish. It was one of those days where it had no wind. It was all just foggy.
It was completely foggy. So maybe there's an art to it
There
to
probably-
also make the fire. Cause,
There probably is, but I've spoken to people about that, and then they say, "Oh yeah, they can be a pain, fires." So I'm not going to do it. So now we've got a TV in front of the log burner. Smoke was also coming out because we got a bloody leak on the chimney.
Gosh.
And we don't know, clearly there's historical evidence of a leak, but the previous owner supposedly sorted it out, according to the survey, but of course they didn't, did they? Because people lie when they sell houses.
Can you cue the pictures of the leak?
Yes, yeah. So,
Or video if you took some,
Yeah, I took
'cause
video.
It's quite severe.
yeah, so we don't know where it's coming from. We did have a roofer come out and try to redo some lead work, which is a bit dodgy.
You can tell just under the lead.
It could be that the bricks are getting saturated, and then it's leaking through there. We tried drilling some drainage holes into the brick the other day, but that did nothing. So anyway, the water has been coming down clearly for a long time. It's rusted the screws that hold the top of the log burner in place up against the flue. And I think there's a gap there.
There is
probably,
a gap.
Well, there's definitely a gap.
It's also rusty, so it all became... and so the smoke was coming in even when you closed the door.
So, yeah.
So there
but
was
also,
an epic fail at Christmas Eve, and Boxing Day as well? We tried again?
I think it was just Christmas Eve, and then that was enough. We just did it. We didn't do it after that.
No? I think we tried again.
I don't think we did. The whole house full of smoke. The PM 2.5, which weirdly I didn't take a video of, probably because I was dying at the time, went up to 300 or something.
290.
So yeah, we tend to have bad luck with leaks and with rodents, in fact, because we have evidence of mice, rats, squirrels, and God knows what other kind of animals in the attic. And in fact, they even chewed the bloody consumer unit wires, we noticed the other day when the electrician was doing some work.
Obviously, this video will be taken down as soon as the house is for sale in 2 years' time.
2 years' time.
Well, already we're 3 months in, so, you know, we're getting close.
God. Years of my life. You know, when I look back at old videos and I think I've aged so much, and I think it's every move that we do every 3 years.
No.
Knocks off years of my life.
I've aged so much even during Christmas. I think
well,
I've aged 10 years.
Anyway, so on more positive news, we put a vent in the landing.
Yeah?
Is it a landing or hallway? Hallway, isn't it? What's a landing? Is it landing just on the top floor?
Maybe the landing.
Maybe landings if you have a...
I don't know.
Anyway, we put a vent in, and this is positive input ventilation. This was with a company called Envirovent. The reason we did this is we've had these vents in the previous 2 houses. The first time we got it, it was actually for radon gas, which is another one of these things that you learn as a homeowner. Canterbury was bad for radon gas. Radon gas is not good for you if you're exposed to it over a long period of time.
It seeps from the bottom of your house through the flooring, and it just stays there unless you have a lot of ventilation. So these positive input ventilation fans, they take the air from the loft and they push it in the house. They warm it up if it's too cold, and they take it from outside if it's too hot. But what it does is just have a flow of air, fresh air inside the house, especially in winter when you tend to keep the windows closed.
Yeah. So it's something we've had twice before. We decided to get it here partly because one of the front bedrooms stank of mould when we moved in. So we were thinking maybe this house is a little bit damp, just to add to the list of things. As it turned out, we removed the wardrobe that was in there, and it was the wardrobe that was stinking of mould, and we removed the floor, and actually that room is fine, and
It's
that's not
fine.
it's
It
not
was
an
just
issue.
the wardrobe.
Just the wardrobe. So, but that was one of the reasons we got it, just because when you have one of these units, you get far less condensation on the windows. You don't get that thing where you look at the window in the morning and it's all a pool of water at the bottom.
Also because we don't have window vents. These are old windows without vents. If you keep your vents open, that helps. But we
we don't have trickle vents.
we just like also the thought that it clears the air, that you always have some fresh air, because it can get quite stale inside the house, even, you know, especially during winter.
It filters the air that comes in, and it does heat very slightly. It does heat the air coming in as well, but not much, because otherwise it would cost a fortune, wouldn't it?
So those are the battens that the unit sits on, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they'll have the foam pads underneath, just to prevent any sort of vibration against the ceiling.
Okay.
Keep it a bit quieter.
And the diffuser, it goes in there?
Yes, the diffuser will just sit in here. And that'll just be connected to the back. Have a nice diffuser going down there.
Okay.
Straight into the centre of the hallway.
So there's the vent. You can see there, that's where the diffuser is in the ceiling of the landing. So that's where the air is pushed through, and it's taken in from outside when the air temperature is warm enough. If it's too cold outside, then it takes air from inside the loft space. And you see there's a big fluffy filter on top there.
So there's the vent up there. Ideally, we would have put it...
No, it's fine there next to the bedrooms. Yeah.
I don't know. Ideally, it would have been a slightly more central position, but we've got a big water tank, an old water tank that's no longer in use, up in the attic, so we need to cut that down and move it, which we should have done before the vent was installed. I've got my cool little thermal imaging camera here. So if I do that, there we go. You can see the cold air that's coming through, but it is heated to like 10.6, 10.8, whatever. So it heated to about 10 or 11 degrees. You can get a model of the vent that has app access, but we didn't. We went for an old-fashioned remote control, which is the same as the one that we had previously. And it's pretty simple, really. You just press this. At the moment it's on auto mode, but you can increase the fan speed by pressing that. And I don't know whether you can hear, but that's obviously pushing more air into the house, so of course it'll be a little bit cooler in here. But it's not too loud. It's actually absolutely fine for background noise, really. It's not particularly cheap. It's $1,879 for this ATMOS Air unit, but it is nice to think that we are breathing in better air. As I say, condensation is lower and things like that.
If you're interested in these units, just know that we went for the upper model that takes the air from outside when it's too hot inside. So it's a model that you can use in summer as well.
Yeah, and because we're south, the front of the house is south facing, so I imagine in summer this house is going to get quite hot. So it is good to have a bit of cool air or cooler air coming in. It's 15 watts it uses in normal operation. So the other thing we wanted to do is to get UK Power Networks to change our main fuse from a 60 amp to 100 amp. And you might be wondering why we want to do that. Because we've got so many electric radiators, the amount of electricity we use is obviously quite a lot. If you use more than 60 amps, then you risk blowing the fuse. With all the radiators on, that won't happen, but if we were to charge the car at the same time then and use the oven, whatever else, then there's a possibility of it happening. So this is a 60 amp fuse we've got at the moment. We've had the meter tails upgraded to 25 mil, so that's all fine. We want that upgraded to 100 amp. So UK Power Networks have come now and they've upgraded this cutout and put on a 100 amp fuse, and they had to shave this. This is a bit of a pain for them. You see this bit of plastic here that sticks out. They have to shave that down to get this chipboard on there and then fix this against that. So it was a bit of a pain for them to do it, but they've managed it. It's a little bit tight, we're closing the door, but it still works okay.
You didn't eat your chocolate.
I know, but I'm so busy talking. So what's next for the house? You might be wondering, if we haven't blown all our cash already on all this stuff. Windows?
We have actually.
We have, yeah.
We have.
We've had to get a
but
loan.
I managed to get a £15,000 loan, so we're surviving on that at the moment.
Yeah. We're going to replace all the windows with triple glazing, and we're going to replace the front door as well, because the front door was also not very good, and that will be a composite, one of these composite doors that will be far more thermally efficient. So we're going to do all that. That's quite a big priority, really, because the front bay windows are terrible and all sort of rotten and everything. So that's something we're going to do. We're going to trim the trees. Just if you wanted to know, we've got trees in the garden. We're going to trim that, but the quote was horrific because we've got nowhere. When they go up and trim the branches, we've got nowhere for the branches to drop, because they either drop in the pond or they drop on the chicken run or on a garden fence. So it's going to cost a fortune.
So today we got a quote of 4,000 plus VAT to just trim the damn trees. So this I don't know what we're going to do with that. Obviously, just ask to do the most urgent ones instead.
Yeah.
But gosh, it's painful. Another thing to add to the list. Maybe buy a house with just one tree that has a nice drop zone under it. Again, this video will be taken down immediately as soon as the house goes on sale, if I'm telling all these issues about trees.
The problem is, I'm going to turn into my mum, because my mum, whenever I tell her anything, my mum says, "Oh, Andrew, oh, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that?"
Did she say about the trees?
I don't think she did, because we'd committed to the house before I told her about it, I think, because otherwise I knew that she would have given me all her...
Did she worry about the pond?
Again, she didn't mention it because we'd already committed to it.
Right.
If I'd mentioned it before, And she would have said, "Oh, Andrew, no, oh, you don't want to be near a large body of water. You don't want large trees, a hassle." You learn all this stuff as you get older.
But
And-
see, you should have taken the wisdom of your mum.
Well, we didn't have many options for houses,
No,
did
yeah,
we?
true.
It was this one or
Yeah.
nothing, really.
Or no chickens.
Yeah, because of the chickens, yeah. So anyway, windows and doors, tree trimming, cavity wall insulation, hopefully. The insulation in the loft is also under regulation height, whatever it is, so it's 10 centimetres, it should be 25, but well, I think we'll just, if we get that done, we'll just stick it on the edges and not in the middle, because that's all boarded, and otherwise the boarding will be too far up.
Yeah, you have to put all those brackets. It gets expensive again. Everything is expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, everything is expensive.
Everything's expensive.
I've got a little office area over there, which is a mess, which I'm not going to show you. We're going to close that off with a stud wall and a door, and then you can't see that either. But
Do you want me to turn it?
I could move it, I suppose, couldn't I? I forget that I can actually do this things. We've got a fridge and a freezer there that are integrated units. They're supposed to be integrated, so we're going to put the wall up there, hide the messy
separate the office.
and so that's the other thing we're going to do. All of this is money. Every time we even look at anything, it's just £1,000 thrown away. Solar panels and a battery, I've written down on the list, but Flaviana doesn't want it because it's more money, even though I think
If Flaviana were rich, Flaviana would want it. But to put 20,000 on the roof for something that I don't even see, when there's so much to be done inside the house, that would, like another shower and the windows and this and that, I think is a waste when you don't have the money.
Yeah, except it would provide an income, and it's not 20,000 on the roof. Obviously,
yes,
there's
it
part
is.
of it is a battery, big battery outside, on the wall outside, and then the rest is on the solar.
Yeah, 20,000.
It's the solar panels. And solar panels are pretty cheap, really.
It just feels like wasted money for something that I don't see.
I know, but it's with our
But
electricity
also,
bills.
we don't. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's one thing, and then our water tank is ridiculously small, so we need to get that upgraded as well. So they're the things. That's what's next for this house. I didn't even mention the pond. We were going to reduce the size of it, but that was
we can't.
17,000.
Yeah, it was 17,000.
So that's not going to happen. There we go. I'll have the usual comment saying, "Why on earth did you buy this house, Andrew? Didn't you get a survey done, Andrew? All the rest of it."
We did get a survey done. It did say that the conservatory was crap.
It mentioned it as a small. It was like one line. Conservatory
Needs redoing, but maybe
you know.
people don't care about the conservatory so much. Che ti devo dire?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we shouldn't care about the conservatory. Should have knocked it down. Tumbleweed.
The tumbleweed, because the conservatory gives 10 square meters more to the house.
It's 10 square meters of cold. If we open the door, because I was working in there, I think when I did the last video, I think I was working in there, wasn't I? But it's just not possible. I mean, because it's impossible to heat it. So anyway, we might insulate the roof at some point.
Yeah, I thought about that, but then most of the light would go, and I do like the light that comes from above.
I know, but it costs a fortune. I mean, what's the temperature? What's the temperature in there at the moment? Well, what's the radiator set to?
15.
15. Because I mean, that's just it's not even a room we use very much really at the moment. We should just turn it off completely. Anyway, so I think that's it with the house stuff. But finally, one more thing. We did some mug decorating at Centre Parks. Look at this beautiful mug that Flaviana designed. Absolutely beautiful. Do you want to show what Aurelia did?
Well, I didn't design it. I painted it.
Okay, you painted it, but it's beautiful. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful mug. That's Aurelia, who's another talented artist in the family. She made this sugar pot with a honeycomb design. Again, absolutely beautiful, I think. Yeah. And now let's see what the graphic designer in the family created. Here it is, the Mr. EV mug. There we go.
I think it's nice.
It's dreadful.
I think it's nice.
It's dreadful.
It's just because you're not an expert painter. But look here. Oops. Oh, I bet maybe
It'll be the right way around, and it's
well,
reversed for
yeah.
us. But there we go. So this is a Mr. EV. It's a Mr. EV mug, and it's yours if you want it. So I'm doing a prize draw, not because it's so ugly. I don't want to put it in the cupboard. Not that at all. I just thought it would be nice to raise some money for charity. So.
Well, you did it with that in mind. Really, it's not a second thought.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I
He wouldn't have written Mr. EV unless he loves himself.
I don't. So if you would like this mug, go to the website mrev.co.uk/mug, and then that will redirect you to the prize draw. All the proceeds will go to charity, and I'll send this out next month. So I think it's the 13th of February is the end of the prize draw.
Again, it's all for charity.
All for charity. I don't actually know which charity yet, so I'm open to suggestions. So I thought it'd be nice to give some money to some deserving people, and not us, because I'm not sure we deserve it for our terrible judgment on houses. So that's it, I think, for now. Is there anything else to say?
No.
No?
I have my to-do list, but
What, a house to do with?
yeah,
No, no.
but I didn't bring it. So
I'm sure there was other stuff. We also need to do a chicken update at some point, because they haven't been laying eggs, and now they all seem to be laying again, so they're happy. But anyway, we'll save the chickens for another video. Thank you very much for watching. Do press subscribe and the bell icon, and join the channel if you are so inclined. Thank you very much for everyone that does.
and move to octopus.
Move to Octopus. Yeah, although
I move to octopus. Say
yeah, okay. Move to Octopus if you would.
why
Like.
do you like octopus energy?
Yeah, Octopus is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why should they move to octopus?
Flaviana is just saying this because she's desperate for you to use our referral link, even though it's a bit depressing. So you get £50 off your bill, and we get £50 off the bill. So it's it's 2 days of electricity for us. Not even that at the moment. 1.5
Yeah,
days
that's
of
why
electricity.
I'm saying. Pero can I just say I'm saying it because you love octopus. I'm not just advertising something to make money like most people do. You actually love it, so that's this genuine
Yes.
recommendation.
there
it's
is-
not a sponsored bullshit
There is a-
that you don't trust.
There is a reason why a lot of YouTubers always give out the referral codes for Octopus, and that is because everyone seems to genuinely love Octopus, and they're a very good company. And the CEO is really nice, actually, and he's always on Twitter and talking to people, and he's, as I've said before, even my mum likes Octopus, and she's very hard to please.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
If your mum likes octopus,
Yeah, because they do all these saving sessions where you save, you save £1 or whatever if you use less electricity during a period, and she loves all that stuff.
yeah.
She loves it. Yeah, I didn't even bother doing it because I thought we're never going to be able to save electricity here. It's impossible.
Maybe every referral gets an entry to get the mug as well.
I can't do that.
No, you can't do that.
No. But anyway, I think that's it for now. Thanks very much for watching and subscribing and all the rest of it. And we'll be back very soon with more videos, including the Kia EV3 review. Oh, and we're going to test the new Model 3 as well next week.
Just go.
Ma vaffanculo.
No, darling, go to break.
Are you excited about that?
I don't know.
No. I mentioned that just because now I'm going to get a barrage of Elon Musk hate comments on the video, which improves engagement. So anyway, bye for now. Thank you very much.
Bye.